Are you wondering how to be a leader? Did you know that there are 16 characteristics that all great leaders need to have? You need to be competent in all of them, but you only need to be exceptional in 5 to be in the top 90 percentile of leaders in the whole world. A company named Zenger Folkman consulting firm has done a number of surveys across all industries and evaluating leaders, well over 1 million with these surveys, and discovered that when you have 5 strengths of those 16 characteristics that you have, if you have 5 that are highly valuable, you are a uniquely powerful leader. Isn't that fascinating to know? You don't need to be amazing in everything. And actually, if you are just competent in all 16, you're in the 34 percentile range of all leaders, which sadly is not so bad when you compare yourself to the spectrum of what's out there. However, if you want to become better, all you need to do is become exceptional in 1, and that will move you up to the 64th percentile of leaders. You're going to be, that's a solid C, maybe a C plus, I don't know, depends where you are, in Canada or the US. But that is a good grade for 1 good attribute. So let's get into this. I know that you're listening now because, man, if you can just do 5 things and be one of the best in the world, by the end of this video, I want you to understand that by focusing on your strengths, you will be far more powerful than you will be if you start to focus on your weaknesses and building up what is broken. So here we go. Here, I'm going to put on the screen are the 16 characteristics that have been identified by Zenger Folkman as the attributes that we need to have as leaders. You can't have an absolute deficit in any of these. You got to figure it out. But it's not that hard. You can have a competency in these, right? Feel free to look through them after you watch the video and see what you got in that spectrum. And then once you see the 16, I want you to identify what you believe are the 5 most powerful traits. Now, if you honestly want to do this, you have to have a 360 done in your space of work, and you have a full analysis, and Zenger Folkman will give you a package, and then you can work on that. And it's a very powerful thing. It's probably the most effective 360 that I've ever seen in my years of working as a consultant in the business world. So you take these 5 attributes that you have and you let go of your desire to pursue your weaknesses. If you think you're interpersonally weak, if you think you're weak in being task-oriented, if you think you're weak in setting goals, whatever that space is, I want you to let it go. That is not where your focus is going to be serving you the best if you want to really, really improve. In fact, Zenger Folkman has done studies on this, and they will tell people, and they analyze them when they identify what's there, and they'll say, look, these are your 5 attributes that are your strongest. You've picked them. This is demonstrated to be your 5 best. I want you to build them up. And there is always, within the people that do these 360s, a group that say, okay, I see that, that's good, but this is really low. I'm going to work on that and make that better. And my advice to you and their advice is don't do that. You won't get as much traction. When they evaluate that, you are going to probably get somewhere in the range of a 10 to 12% increase over your leadership score that you started with if you focus on your weaknesses. So if you improve that area, say your area you're focusing on is goal setting, because you're not good at setting goals, and so you're like, I'm really weak at that, I'm going to focus on this, and you ignore your strong attributes and you just really, really try to build that up, you will have, by the end of the year and all that focus, a 10 to 12% increase in your leadership capacity. That's good. You should be proud of that. If you decide to instead focus on building your areas of strength, there's a few things that happen. Your mindset is more engaged because you're working in a space where you're comfortable. You're working in a space that you enjoy. Typically, our strengths are things that we like to be doing. So you get to move in that space and improve. And they have found that it is 3 times the improvement of those that focus on their weaknesses over their strengths. So if you focus on your strengths, instead of a 10 to 12% increase in your leadership capacity, you're looking at a 30%. That's substantial, right? So if you're in the 50 percentile as a leader and you really focus on your weaknesses and you move up to a 60 percentile leader, well, that's really good. Pat yourself on the back. You are now focusing on your strengths. You're an 80 percentile leader at the end of the year. Man alive! That is a dramatic change in your leadership capability. And it is all from shifting your focus from what you do poorly to what you do well. And this is a powerful thing, right? So these are my 5 that I did when I did my Zenger Folkman. I'm highly innovative. I communicate powerfully and broadly. I hope that you can recognize that. I inspire and I motivate. I champion change and I collaborate and foster teamwork. These are my special skills that I like to work in. I love this environment. When I'm working in a space with this, I like it. But if you get really technical with me, I'm not so good. I don't like that stuff. I need it. I need the scheduling. I need the time management. I need all of that. But if I put all my energy into building that, I'm getting sick thinking about it. I don't want to do that with my time. It's agony, right? However, if you want to build your real areas of strength and you begin to look at where you need to improve, say, on communicating powerfully and broadly, if I really look at that, there are going to be elements of my weaknesses that pull from my ability to truly do that. And so as I begin to focus on those elements that are pulling away from my ability to really, truly be powerfully communicative and impact people, it changes how, even though maybe I'm actually improving a weakness, I'm not approaching it from a mentality of, oh, I'm weak at this, I gotta build this. I'm approaching it from a concept of, I'm really good at this and I wanna get better. So I gotta fix this little spot and that's gonna make me even stronger where I'm already strong. Honestly, that simple shift in mindset as a leader, as a human, changes how you approach everything. It'll inspire you. It'll make you feel, man, I got this. This is fun. You begin to break down barriers of restraint that you did not know how to overcome when you approach it from a place of weakness. Coming at it from a space of strength will change the game that you're in. Once you identify this thing, then you move on to step number 3. Spend your time, right? Increasing your areas of strength. We already talked about that, right? You've got to identify these 5 things, work on your areas of strength. So let me give you an example of how I personally went after my weaknesses through my strengths. The cool thing with the Zenger Folkman 360, I didn't mean this to be a pitch for them, but it is, not intentionally. They give you a booklet that is your 360 and it shows your strengths, your weaknesses, and then you take your 5 top scores and you begin to develop those to improve upon them. And I had collaborates and fosters teamwork as one of my strengths that I wanted to improve to make myself better. And so I go to the booklet and you open it up to collaborates and fosters teamwork. They have a page that lays out what that does and what that means, and then you flip it over and they have cross-training techniques to increase your capacity in that. And one of the things in the pinwheel of my cross-training was to learning how to establish better stretch goals for my team. I don't like doing crap like that. That's not my shtick. I get that it's important. It's not something I really like to do it. But when I began to look at it from the perspective of, I want my team to be better. I want them to foster support for each other. I want them to collaborate more. I want them to see better results. I saw the connection with my actual skill and what was my talent to goal setting. And it made it a much easier way for me to metabolize the information that I needed to do to set up some SMART goals with my teams in an effective manner. I knew how to do it. I was not deficient and completely clueless in this area. It just didn't resonate with me the way I wanted it to. But once I realized that this connection was going to help me to enhance the space where I like to be and what I like to do, I went to my crew and I said, guys, you know what? I think we can be a better team and we can have more camaraderie if we begin to see each other's goals and we can see how we're pushing each other, and we establish stretch goals. And it really helped build this SWAT team that I was on. I was running a Lean Six Sigma SWAT team to hit some key metrics. And it really helped. It really helped. And I couldn't believe just that simple mindset shift, going from you really need to work on your ability to deal with goals, James. You don't do a good job on that, to you're really good at fostering teamwork and collaboration. And I think you can get even better at it if you will tie in some goal setting that's really effective. Well, that became an easy thing for me to do. And I know it can for you too. I want you to start thinking in every aspect of your life, not just in leadership categories, but in every comprehensive aspect of your life, of the spaces that you want to improve. Approach it from a place of strength. Approach it from where you do well and how you can enhance that. And if you will do that, you will see exponential change in your life. It will inspire others. And you can be one of the top leaders in the world just by constantly building upon your strengths and recognizing this can be done. Hope you like that. I hope there's some things that you're doing to make yourself a better leader. I'd love to hear from you. And stick around, I got another video coming up on how we can face the future without fear. You're gonna need this if you wanna be a big leader. So, like, follow, subscribe, don't miss out. Got this video coming up right now. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm James Burnham.